What's up, y'all? We are back. This is episode 16 of the Colorado Rockies Out of the Park Baseball 24 series. We are here in the 2028-2029 offseason. Just kicked off a couple days ago. I haven't really done anything. I'm just looking for trades and stuff. So, after a disappointing end of last season, 85 and 77. Really funny. I didn't notice it at the time. The Phillies won the NL East with a 76 and 86 record. I'm blown away. That's all I have to say about that. Just insane. So we got screwed, but I had a feeling that was going to happen when the divisions were realigned and everything. But okay, so let's get into the offseason here. First order of business from a player standpoint, arbitration. Singh is due for a huge raise, about $30 million. Probably not worth it at this point, but I was looking around for deals for him, and only the Padres were interested, and I'm not really interested in giving him to a division rival for essentially nothing. So we're going to stick with him. He'll make $30 million, whatever. It's the last year of the deal, so no worries there. Efros, 50-50 if he's coming back or not. I'm not sure. Romo will be back. Amador, I have a trade lined up for. And it's pretty funny. We'll get to that in a second. But Veen will be back. And then Gilbert and Meadows, I'm probably going to bring one of these guys back. I'm not sure who yet. If I want the offense, I'll go with Gilbert. If I want the defense, I'll go with Meadows. Gilbert does have no options, and Meadows has one. So that's a big factor. Both the same age. Gilbert was really good last year in a small sample. But a significant enough one, and he played really well in AAA. So he could also be a trade guy if we don't, tender him a contract. He also makes like twice as much as Meadows is going to make. So I'm leaning toward Meadows at this point, but we will get there when we get there. I have like three guys that I thought I might be able to get qualifying offers for. And I offered them all the 1 year, whatever, $23 million deal. Bryant would have accepted. He wanted like a 4-year deal, average annual value of like $16 million. So, I'm not opposed to bringing him back, but I think we have some guys that could fill in for cheap. Ramirez, I thought I might be able to get a qualifying offer for him. He would accept the 1 year deal. I'm actually tempted to give it to him. Even if he does accept it, I think as a decent player, I wouldn't mind paying $23 million to. He was awesome for us before he went down. He blew out his knee, but, the speed will probably drop a little bit, but I don't think it'll affect his hitting ratings at all. I just scouted him. He seems to be still a good player, so we'll see. I don't know. I kind of want to give some young guys a shot anyway. And then Justin Steele. Surprisingly, the one guy who wasn't going to accept the qualifying offer. He wanted $25 million annually for 4 years. Good luck getting that. And it's been a pleasure having you on the team. You gave us a season and a half of pretty good baseball. But yeah, we're going to move on. But we'll get a qualifying offer pick for him. Henches and Minter are also free agents. So the trade I had lined up was Adel Amador going to the Brewers for McCade Brown, who, if you don't remember, was the guy we traded for Jackson Chourio and $10 million. One of the first big trades of this sim happened in the offseason after we did our first season. We also gave Montero, Hughes, who's still with Milwaukee, and then Fernandez, who's also turned into a decent player for Milwaukee. So this was messed up. I'm not actually going to do this, but they were willing to throw in $22 million cash. I've never been able to get that amount for just Adel Amador, or for any player, period, but especially not Adel Amador. So they have a ton of cash available, and I get why they're giving up on McCade Brown. So essentially the story with him has been, he has all the talent. Should be a good pitcher, but has never been able to put up even a league average season as a starter. And they've given him 5 seasons of opportunities. So he's due to make $5 million. I see why they want to give up on him. I really don't blame him. I probably would have too. But we're going to see if we can turn him around. The way I see it, they're going to eat a little bit of this. They're going to eat his whole contract for next year and throw in $5 million for Adel Amador, who has been an awesome player the last 3 seasons for us. And the thing about Amador, I would have liked to keep him, but we have guys coming up like Krebs. Like he'll probably be my second baseman next year. Then we also have like Baucom. Then we have Holcomb. We need to get at bats to Wolklau. Um, some other guys on the way like Cunningham, who we drafted in the first round last year. So yeah, I'm ready to move on from Amador. He gave us a nice like 5 seasons, but he's going to get expensive pretty soon, and yeah, I don't really want to pay that to a second baseman. So thank you for your service, Amador. And McCade Brown will come in plus $10 million. So this loads. Yeah, I didn't think our team would be happy. Oh, they also. Yeah, I'm going to change this. I forgot about this. Been a couple days since I picked this up. They lowered the active roster size to 25. I'm going to change that back. I think that's pretty dumb. So let's move that back to 26, and there we go. Okay, so what do we have looking at this team? Brian will be gone. I kind of set up my lineup how I'm going to have it next year, so I assume Wolklau will get most of the at-bats at third. But Holcomb also going to be like in the running for that starting job. If Wolklau was a rough spring and Holcomb's good, then we'll throw him in there. But he could also play around the infield a little bit. I don't really want him playing anywhere but third, but we can make that work. And then same story with Wolklau. Maybe throw him at first, but I do want to give a shot to Daniel Covett, who was a former third-round pick back in 2023. Has been killing it in the minors. He's pretty much proven himself through every level that he can hit. So I want to give him a shot. I added him to the 40 last offseason. Didn't make an appearance in the majors, but I plan on putting him as our starting first baseman to start the year. Zach Wattis also gonna, I don't have to add him to the 40 yet, so he's not here. But another guy, maybe a really nice platoon over there first with the righty and lefty. Connor Griffin also knocking on the door, a first base. Corner outfield type. So yeah, another reason, we're not going to bring back Bryant, most likely, unless something crazy happens. I'm going to miss his leadership. He's a captain, but that's the story first. And then second, Krebs is the inside job because he played incredibly well down the stretch. And I love his defense for that position. And, Baucom, I guess, but doesn't really have, he's more of like the super utility type, future like bench player, fills in and does a good job when we need him. But then Cody Schreier, also another guy. We'll play around with him. Michael James, kind of guy without a position. Got a couple at bats last year, and then Langford will be on the squad as our platoon at DH, and yeah, we'll go forward with this team like that. Then in the rotation, I'm going to try Randy Rodriguez as a starter this year. He has the stamina to hold his own, give us 5 innings. But he's proven himself out of the pen. He has so much trade value. I don't want to shop him just because, he's going to get pissed. But we're going to try him as a starter this year. We'll see how it goes. Then Ryan Wald will fight for a rotation spot. I wish he wasn't fighting, but he's absolutely like the odd man out at the moment. Maybe Jackson Cox would be too, but basically these 4 guys are mostly locked in. Witt, I like how he pitched last year. He was solid. Wood was good down the stretch for us, and then Senga and Rodriguez, and then Cox and Ryan will fight it out for that final spot along with Philpott, who I'd like as a starter long term. And then maybe Juarez will get a shot there. Garcia maybe another try, but Garcia like out of the pen as well. So I'm not whoever doesn't make the rotation is going to be in the bullpen because we're losing all 4 of these guys, and we're going to have to replace them somehow. So okay, so we're going to cut out and go to awards here and come back to this. All right, back with our second trade here of the offseason. So we have Drew Gilbert, who was awesome in a small sample size, and I would love to keep him, but he's out of options, and, the outfield defense isn't great. He's a low leader. There's kind of a lot of things that play into this, and I think Meadows is a better 4th outfielder for what we want. So we're going to package Drew Gilbert along with Owen Egan, who's been in our minor league system and has raked at every level. I don't see him as a major league player with that avoid Ks and that low contact. Also a ground ball hitter with high power. I'm not sure how that plays. Also a low leader. We're packaging him for this guy, Chance Mako, who, not the most impressive pitcher, but pitching depth is hard to come by in the minors. Good leader, high work ethic. 24 years old, so he is what he is probably at this point, but could be good. Good depth down in the minors. Could be a decent bullpen piece. We need a long man, and then $2.5 million. So trying to get some cash influx here before free agency and before the season. So we're gonna complete that trade, and I offered actually. Okay, so I did this. Connor Brandon, who didn't make an appearance for me, he was due to make $1.1 million, I think. I looked around for trades. There was nothing there, and someone just claimed him. So good for him. Hopefully, gets an opportunity somewhere. Efros, still debating Efros. So I'm going to bring him back. But Romo has been offered a deal. No, he hasn't. I thought I submitted that. Okay. Then Meadows, $1.5 million. See if we can get him $1.4 million. Perfect. And then I was looking at a long-term extension for Zach Bean. He would accept this. I'm not sure if I want to give it to him. He's been a great player for us. Honestly, an awesome player for us. But I'm not sure how I feel about locking down a corner outfielder long-term. I know I did it in the Twins save with like a first baseman and a second baseman with DiMartini and Palencia, but I'm up in the air. The OSA, this is not worth $35 million. This might be. I know it's such a small difference, but I don't know. I think I'm going to go year by year with him. We have a ton of money long term. We have no long term extensions, no long term money wrapped up after next year, after Swanson's off the books. So we have clean books to extend to anyone we want. That's probably the route I'll go. Or maybe if there's someone in free agency I really like, I'll go after them. But for now, I'm gonna go year by year with Bean. See how he ages as he gets like into his mid-20s or out into his late 20s, early 30s. There's no rush with him. He has a couple of years of control left still. Another guy who I was looking for trades, Michael James. He was out of options, and I probably don't see him, sticking with the team like long term. We have a ton of infielders that are better at defense, and I like the eye a lot, but there you go. A couple of guys claimed off waivers that I didn't want to bring back. So we're almost here at awards, so we'll go through that. Senga, McCade Brown, okay. We'll see what we do with Brown, too. I don't know if he's a bullpen guy or a starter. We will, we'll see how the team plays out. So, Gold Gloves, Marcelo Meyer, this is funny. I was looking around just, see who's available. And he's been like a really awesome player for Boston. And they signed him to this ridiculous contract. 8 years, $500 million, making $74 million through his age 32 season. I thought that was hilarious. Definitely not worth, no one's worth $74 million in this game, but, it just shows you how broken the AI is when it comes to contracts and stuff like that. It's really gotten ridiculous in this game. Like, you would never see that stuff. What the hell, dude? 5.3. Try to lowball him. I don't know if he bring Efros back. Torn back muscle. He should come back fine. His ratings didn't drop. We could use him. 2.4 million. It's not that much. We have a ton of money to spend, so no worries there. Also, just checking in. If anyone's interested, Ezekiel Tovar. We talked last time. He was an all-star, and he was having like an okay season. He wound up crashing and burning at the end of the year, and he's on the trade block already. I mean, we didn't give up a ton. What did we give up? Bernard, who, really dropped off as a prospect after he dealt him. Birdsong, who wasn't a good reliever for them, and Joe Rock. who something here in AAA for them. So yeah, that seemed to work out fine for us with Swanson, even though Swanson wasn't the best player, but he was better than what we were getting there. So I guess there's still decisions to be made about like Ramirez. Do we give him the qualifying offer? I don't know. If we got to bring him back in free agency, we can do that. Lang doesn't want a ton of money. I'm not opposed to bringing him back. $6 million over 2 years is fine. We'll see what happens when he hits free agency, though. Okay, so I didn't even go through the Gold Gloves. That was stupid. NL, we have Drew Romo behind the plate. Good for us there. Reliever of the year. There you go. NL, Randy Rodriguez finishes third. And Silver Sluggers in the AL, you can see them here. Who's this guy? Interesting. 44th overall pick in 2023. Nice. This guy, Nico Cavadas, the Twins have been trying to trade him for a couple of years. He's been on the block for, if I was looking to trade for someone. NL, we have Miguel Bleis as a center fielder winning the Silver Slugger, and that was it. Machado with a really nice season. Good for him. He had a couple of rough years in a row offensively, so, returning to form there. We like to see that. Big Machado fan. Okay, so skippers, whatever. None of our guys. Logan Gilbert wins AL Cy Young. Dylan Cease, Jared Kelly, who I would love to trade for, but I already looked and it's not happening. Then Aaron Nola and Corbin Burns, 1 and 2. Nola winds up winning. Then Ian Villers finishes 5th. So Giants have quite the rotation there, and they did win the division. So what did they sign Nola for? It's not a bad deal, honestly. This dude, Alex Rodriguez, who's been playing for Las Vegas, they traded him for Camilo Doval, which I'm not sure that worked out. I think they had Doval in the minors or something stupid at one point. Yeah, he spent half the year in 2025 in the minors. That was just bizarre to me. So yeah, right after they traded him, they did that crap. So, but yeah, they traded him for the now AL MVP, Alex Rodriguez. Rushman finished second, who the Orioles are trying to trade. They locked him up. Oh my God. What the hell is that? Now I see why they're trying to trade him. Holy sh! That is officially the biggest contract I've ever seen given out in this game. The AI is broken. That's pretty obvious. $482 million over 5 years. Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, he finished second in MVP. I guess that's good. But yeah, he better be that player, and then add 6 WAR to that, make him a 12 WAR player. Maybe he's worth it, but yeah, a bunch of split that vote pretty significantly, and then Juan Soto wins in the NL. I think he's playing first base now. Is that what I saw? Yeah. For the Padres, Machado finishes third, Acosta second, Tatis. So 4 guys get first place votes for the Padres. Miguel Bleis finishes 5th for us, and that's all going on there. Okay, so we will go up to free agent filings here, arbitration decisions, all that crap. I still can't get over that Rushman thing. It's completely shell shocked me, and it's unbelievable. So Steele declines a qualifying offer, and there we go. So we got a comp pick whenever he signs. Didn't we have a thing a couple of years ago where someone signed and I didn't get a pick? Or no, it was second round pick. Never mind. Check through these international guys coming in. Min Woo Kim. It's a nice player. Wouldn't mind giving him a deal, but I don't know. It seems a little cheesy when I sign these guys. Like this guy wants 2.4 million, definitely worth more than that. Sugiyama, a little bit older. It's like David Bednar just got traded. Okay, so I did look through the free agent class. It doesn't look bad, but I don't know if there's a ton we're going to look to target here. So the one guy I was looking at, Dylan Carlson, didn't we win MVP or something? Or was that in the Twin Series? I don't know, whatever. Who the heck was it? Maybe they re-signed him? See all pitchers here. Yeah, so no good starters. Spencer Strider's out there, $30 million. If I can get him for like a 1-year deal, I'd consider it, but he's extreme fly ball. I don't know how those guys will play. Hunter Green, another guy who's extreme fly ball. Honestly, Justin Steele is a perfect pitcher for us. He strikes out enough guys. Shane Bieber's out here. He's neutral. I wouldn't mind giving him a deal if he wants something shorter term. Oh, Luis Castillo. Here we go. Yeah, so $17 million. He's 35 years old. If I can get him down to a 2-year deal, I would do this. 2 years, $30 million. He would consider that. Okay. He's not the pitcher he used to be, obviously, but and he hasn't really had a lot of good years in Seattle. But I think this is a good, buy low guy, a good leader. I'm gonna give him a deal. It's a short 2-year deal. We'll bite the bullet if it doesn't work out. We don't have a ton of commitments for contracts coming up, so totally cool with that there. Then honestly, the rest of our team looks pretty good. Palma's a fine backup catcher. I like our catching duo. We have tons of hitters, pretty much at every position. Maybe we could use, but I would say we could use another outfielder. But we got Connor Griffin down here. He's ready to come right up. And then Zach Wattis, another guy down here. Jonathan Blevins, who's a second-round pick in 2027. He's on his way. Casey Cunningham, who was our first-round pick last year. I called him up to A-ball, but it was too late in the season. I kind of blew that one, but he played really well in rookie ball for what that counts, as he should. Yeah, so I think our hitting's fine. And then, our pitching, we don't have an ace, but, Senga's a good 3. These guys are all, solid 3 starters. I would say, maybe Rodriguez becomes our ace. I don't know what to expect out of him, but... And then our bullpen, I guess we could use some bodies down there. Really quick, I want to boost my development, and they're already actually pretty high. Crap. But let's max these out. Let's go up to 24 here. And we still have a ton of money to spend, so... All right, so I'm mostly looking at bullpen guys. I want some lockdown guys in the late innings. Jose Alvarado, guy catches my eye. We haven't had a good lefty in a long time. 4-year deal, little much. Old friend Tyler Owens, who, we signed, didn't have a great year last year. We let him go. I guess didn't renew his contract. I did non-tender him, but Evan Phillips is a great buy low guy. Case Silseth, young. And a pretty nice player. So I'm going to go through and offer some contracts to these guys, and we'll come back in just a second. All right, so Rule 5 draft just happened. We lost 2 guys. Jordy Vargas, who has been in my minor league system for the last, bunch of years, but he's been hanging in my higher minors for the last 3. Call it 4, actually. He was probably never going to crack my rotation at any point, and he wound up getting picked by the Cubs, and this guy Anthony Murrieta, who was in high A, hit really well. There's definitely tools here. He's 25, and he was picked by Milwaukee. So just a little update on the Rule 5 draft, and we did have a couple free agent signings. So Jose Alvarado signed the 2-year, $20 million deal with the player option after the year. We'll see how it works out, but I'm really excited for him to come in and be our closer. Evan Phillips also signed a 2-year, $2.5 million deal with us to solidify our bullpen. I think this bullpen looks a lot better than what we were running out there last year at points. So um, there you go. Luis Castillo wanted more money after that deal, and I thought it over, and I was like, I'd rather run it out with the guys we got instead of give Castillo, 2 years, $40 million. Um, so yeah, there's that. Now we just lost Alex Lang and Justin Steele, so we get a supplemental first round pick. That's great. The Mets bring in Lang. That's a good signing for them. They're going to use him as a starter. I sure hope not. Then Steele signed a, let's see, 5-year, $83 million deal. So he gets paid at age 33. We'll see how that works out. But he goes back to the Cubs after, spending a good chunk of his career with them. He probably have his best seasons with them. He's a really good pitcher. He's a league average starter that gives you innings. That has a lot of value. So I see what they see in him. Maybe not that price tag, though. So we're going to keep chugging along in the offseason, and we'll come back with another update. Okay, so we had a couple international free agent signings to announce. Rogelio Garza. We signed him for like nothing. $200,000 bonus. Frank Baca, we just also got, decent dart throw of a catcher. We got him for $300,000. Let's see. We have a couple other guys. This guy, Jorge Galdamez, relief pitcher prospect. We got him for $400,000. This guy, Michelangelo Odilo, we got him for $300,000. And here's our big signing, Alvarado Cobos. Love this guy. Love the glove. Love the bat. We'll see what happens with him, but here's our big sign. I think he was $5 million. Yeah, we want to pay him $5 million for him. So we'll move forward probably to around opening day, I would say. So we'll be back. All right, we're back at opening day, and top 100 prospects have dropped, and the top 10, we have Alex Philpott. He will start the year in AAA. Just how things shook up heading into the year with the bullpen and everything. Ford Thompson had another boost in his development. He's up to the number 19 prospect in baseball. This is the 20th round pick back in 2024. So an awesome find there. Again, I did draft him, but there's not I couldn't have predicted that was going to happen. Susana slots in at number 27. Jaime Cooper, had a little bit drop in his stuff in the most recent development. But he's still the number 37 prospect in baseball. Still expect big things out of him. Woklau is number 55. He'll graduate along with Ben Krebs, who is the 101 prospect. Arminio Toto, a couple of years in A-ball in a row where he hasn't done anything. I'm pushing him up to high A. We'll see how it goes. But he's the number 133 prospect in baseball. Connor Griffin, 168. Masato Chilcutt, who was our second round pick last season, catching prospect. He slots in the top 200 at 188. And Casey Cunningham, who was our first round pick, 23rd overall, will start the year in AA. He is number 190. So a pretty good farm system, number 3 overall, even after graduating some guys in recent years. So we'll play LA opening day for we definitely played them last year opening day. And we'll play them again here. So here's the preseason predictions. Yankees, Guardians, Mariners, Astros to win the 4 divisions. I can see the top hitters there. And then in the NL, Pirates, Washington, expected to tie for first place in the NL East with 85 wins. The Reds expected to win the Central by a pretty good margin over the rest of the pack. Giants were predicted to finish second with 95 wins. I like to see that. But the rest of the division is still really good. Only the Dodgers a game under 500. The Giants expected to finish ahead of us. Let's check out their team really quick because I kind of gloss over the other squads in the league, but Vinny Pasquantino, Oscar Colas, Von Brown is their center fielder. This guy looks pretty good. Malin Wetzel, first overall pick in 2027. Looks like he cracks the roster. It's a hell of a player. And he also played in the majors last year and hit pretty well. Wow. What a build that is, man. 17% walk rate, 37% strikeout rate. Batting 258. Marco Luciano, who actually had a chance to trade for last offseason, but we went with Jose Ramirez. Looked like that worked out well. Luciano didn't play too well last season, but still a nice player. They got JT Realmuto behind the plate. Then their rotation's nasty. Corbin Burns, their starter. Their ace. Aaron Nola, their 2. Ian Villers, who finished 5th in Cy Young. An awesome 3-starter. I can't ask for much better than that. Nabil Christmet, their 4, and Cutter Crawford. So just want to look at their team, but we're predicted to finish with 95 and 67 according to this particular sim. Our ERA is not even worse than our division, which is pretty cool. Actually, one of the best in the NL, so I like that a lot for sure. I'm surprised never mind. Diamondbacks are in the South division. I forgot. Yeah, they have a sick team. They still got Corbin Carroll, who's not really the player he once was, but this guy's nasty. Jordan Lawlar I went to the player rankings. He's ranked number 1. Really sick player. And then Alex Ramirez is number 2. Drew Jones just called up last season. He's their right fielder, which is just wild. And then Alec Thomas, their DH. Gabriel Moreno, still a nice hitter. So yeah, Diamondbacks are a good team as well. Best hitters, we have Zach Veen up here. Miguel Bleis also, and Jackson Churio. So our 3 outfielders expected to lead our team this year. And then for pitching, Randy Rodriguez cracks the top pitchers list, I guess. And then that's all for pitchers for us. But we'll see how the roster shook up to begin the season, or how it's going to shake up. Yeah, Kodai Senga, who'll be our opening day starter this year. The rating dropped a little bit, but he's still the best pitcher, I would say. Until Chris Wood glows up, hopefully. He'll be our 2-starter, and then Tanner Witt will be our 3-starter. Randy Rodriguez, who had a pretty solid spring training, he'll be our 4, and then Dan Reinwald, who was also good in spring. So we'll give him another shot. We'll see with him. I hope it works out. But Jackson Cox had an awesome spring. I would rather have Reinwald have a shot here and then Cox out of the bullpen to begin the season. But yeah, he was awesome this spring. Probably our best starter. And the McCade Brown, Victor Juarez, Angel Shavili, Tyler Cleveland will be our middle inning guys, and then Kevin Garcia and Evan Phillips are setup men. He lost a little bit in his stuff, and his overall is not quite as good, but he'll be fine, I think. And then Jose Alvarado will be our closer. So let's jump into opening day. Kodai Senga against the Dodgers. We'll be throwing Jack Caglione. I don't know if I got that right, but pretty sick pitcher here. Had a nice season last year in his rookie year. So let's do it. And we win 5-0 opening day. That's awesome. Wyatt Langford, 2 RBIs. Ben Krups, 2 RBIs. Romo drove in the other run. Kodai Senga, complete game shutty. That's a good way to start the year. We like that. Chris Wood will start game 2 of the year. And we win 10-8, so a little bit more offense, not as much pitching. Romo drives in 3 more. Krebs another 2 RBIs. And then Churio, Betancourt, Holcomb all drive in runs. Oh, I didn't go over the hitters, sorry. Chris Wood, not a good start, but Jackson Cox, Tyler Cleveland, Evan Phillips, Alvarado to close it. For the hitters, I had Braden Holcomb playing first base this spring, and he mashed. So I want to... He made the roster, and Woklau will play first base to start the year. I don't like his defense as much as Holcomb, but so Woklau will be my starting first baseman. I wanted to give it to Covett, but he did not have a good spring. Then Krebs, our starting second baseman, he had a good spring. Swanson at short, Veen, Blyce, Churio, Betancourt, Meadows our backup outfielder, and Langford our DH slash backup outfielder, first baseman type. So we look for the sweep against LA here. Tanner Witt on the mound, and we lose 11-2. Not much offense here, but Drew Romo continues to hit really well to start the year. Witt, just about as bad as you can get for a first start of the year. And then Jackson Cox gets blown up a little bit too. Then Victor Juarez, 4 innings to save the pen, and McCade Brown makes his debut with 2 shutout innings. So that'll wrap up the offseason episode. We start the year 2-1. We'd like to see that, and we'll be back with with first half of the season, trade deadline, all that stuff, and the first year player draft. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.